Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone for taking out this precious time, okay, and joining this meeting. It's been great to see so many people over here. I hope that you have got a lot of questions, and I know that you have got a lot of questions. So this session is not about some PPTs that I'm going to show, okay, not about some slides that I'm going to talk about. I'm trying to keep this as raw as possible, okay. I want informations from you guys, what situation that you guys are facing when you are hunting for your job or in your learning, okay, switching your profile from a non-IT to IT, how that learning is going on, how's your learning curve going on so far, and what difficulties you guys are facing, so that I can understand and talk about more on these things. And as experts, I face lot of things in my day-to-day life as well. When it comes to interviews that I take, I can see that not many people do not have adequate knowledge, due to which there is a gap that I can always see. I'll talk about that gap. What are the areas of uh, improvements that you guys need to take care as early as possible before you face the live interviews, so that it becomes an easier journey for you guys to crack a job. Okay. The main objective of today's session is to ensure that we talk about the gap that we have. Due to some gaps we are aware of, some gaps we are not aware of. So I'll be talking about those gaps that as experts I can see on a daily basis, and talk about those things elaborately in this 1 hour of session. Okay. And I want more inputs from you guys as well. And I'm very sure you guys are facing live interviews or learning or doing some of the stuffs that is required to get into the industry. What difficulties you guys are facing over there, talk about that as well. Okay, so that I can address to all of your concerns. And I'm very sure many questions will be common questions. So yeah. So talking about me, I believe that many of you guys would be knowing me, and many of you guys might not be knowing me as well. My name is Deep. I'm carrying almost around 9.5 years of experience now working in the field of data, working as a senior data scientist at the moment. Also, I can see that also I've done a lot of work in many areas, so I'm not elaborating more about my profile, but I would like to talk about the areas why this session is getting conducted. I want to talk about on the areas which are important. Okay, so the first thing is that switching or transitioning your profile from the non-IT to IT. How is it going so far? Are you facing any challenge? Are you guys nervous? Or what is the medium you have chosen to move into the IT? Is it Tableau, or are you looking for any other module as well?
TABLEAU.
Tableau, right? Okay, awesome. Yes, Kamini. No need to
Yeah,
raise your
so
hand. You can directly talk. No issues.
yeah, there are many people, so I just thought I'll just
Yeah.
yeah. So I've just taken input already from you and Amol for resume input, right? For preparing new resume based on the IT thing. So the resume which is prepared and the LinkedIn profile which I already have is quite different, of course, and because we have changed it to IT background. And
Right.
is it recommended to change on the LinkedIn as well? Because nowadays, I think everybody definitely goes through your LinkedIn profile as well.
Absolutely.
And if I do that change to LinkedIn, and there are of course many connection who already knows what I've worked, and this is like upside change. And if anybody raise any concern that no, this is not something you have worked here, and that way.
No, to be honest with you, that won't affect a lot. Obviously, you have to change your LinkedIn profile like the way we have created your resume. You need to
Okay.
prepare your LinkedIn profile in that way. I have changed my LinkedIn profile multiple times, and I have got
Okay.
so many connections as well. That doesn't mean that it will raise their eyebrows and they will say that what is doing. It's your career. I can switch my career at any point of time. Is the technologies that I'm learning.
No. Switching career is fine, but when I say I have worked with my company for last 5 years and the kind of role which I have already done, and now we are just converting that role to a Tableau developer, or
That's
in the
not a
same
problem.
fashion.
That
So
is
the
not.
content will be completely changed, which have actually worked and which
Mhm.
we are now putting in the resume, right? So have someone come across to you? Even suppose my manager was there and he's my LinkedIn connection. I have changed completely my profile. Do you have someone that somebody has raised this kind of
Never.
concern?
Never. In my 9.5 years of career, never someone has raised that kind of concern. In fact, I have made my profile change many a times just looking at the job description and the market situation. So no manager is interested what you are doing in your life. Okay, they might see that you have made some changes, then they will come to know that okay, you are looking for a change. That's fine. Everyone does that.
Okay.
You have you ever noticed someone changing their profile?
Yeah, many people do, but for me, मतलब for my personal, वो एक होता है ना
Yes.
अंदर से.
Understood. Understood.
For
होता है वो
that
चीज, but
yeah.
it is, don't worry that someone would be thinking कि मैंने profile change कर दिया तो क्या होगा? No, that is not a concern at all. But you definitely have to sync the profile like the way we have created in your resume. Okay.
Yeah, so
That,
and it's good to link your bio link in your resume, right?
yeah. You can do that changes as well. Okay. We have shared the Word file with you, so you can make those changes wherever you think it is necessary.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, whatever changes I've done, I'll share for your review again. And
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah,
That can be
thank
done.
you. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about more about anyone. If anyone has got any question, please feel free to ask. Okay, I'll give you 10 or 15 seconds. Anyone wants to address any concern like Yamini? Okay, Jyoti is saying I'm in sales now. I'm learning Tableau and giving interviews, but still now not able to get any. Well, it is. We are really grateful. How much should we learn? What all concepts we should mandatorily cover to crack an interview? That's a great question asked. Um, First of all, if you are saying that how much should we learn? So it's a subjective kind of study. I think during schools and colleges, we did that kind of study, right? जितना क्वेश्चन पूछेगा उतना ही सीख के जाओ एंड उतना ही बोल के आओ तो हो जाएगा. In Tableau and Power BI roles, it is impossible to judge how much you should know. But you definitely need to know, since Tableau is your primary skill set, your main focus should be on Tableau and you have to know inside out of Tableau. And what are the topics that are very important? Relationships, context filters, LOD, performance optimization, a little bit on the server, like creating alerts, subscription. If you are aware of load, how to measure load in the server, that's great. Uh, how you design your dashboard is one of the most important concepts. Layout containers, how to use action filters in your reports. There are various other things as well that are included in Tableau, but those things are the primarily most important areas, and definitely problem statements. Because nowadays interviewers gonna ask you to share your screen and will give you problem statements. You will have to solve those things. Okay. One belief, or one what should I say, that people think that if you are unable to answer it correctly, you won't be selected, but that is not the case. Okay, we are also human beings. As recruiters, as interviewers, we know that you won't be able to solve the entire thing within that 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes of session that we have, but the approach to that question matters the most. Okay, as an interviewer, what I tend to see is that how confidently you are approaching to that question or that problem statement. Suppose something has been asked to you, you are using the correct terminology, like I have to prepare sets, or I have to prepare group, I have to combine this thing and that. If you are able to get it done then and there, it's a straight away selection for me. But even if your approach is correct, I will think that yes, you are confident, you have said the right things, the approach is correct, and you will be selected. Okay. And besides the Tableau knowledge, nowadays a lot of importance is given to SQL as well. So without SQL, you won't be able to crack any interview. Okay. Questions won't be asked just on the basis of Tableau. And in SQL, the knowledge base that you need is not the basic level, but a little bit of intermediate level. And nowadays, I think it has gone a little bit higher. So stored procedures, triggers, views, functions, and now Windows functions are also getting asked. So that thing also, if you can prepare, it will be easier for you to crack an interview. And face mock interviews as much as possible, because if you don't face mock interviews, you will never know that where you are lagging. And that is the most common mistake that we do, that we have learned so many things. Okay. Now, to test ourselves, what are we doing? We are directly giving live interview wherein we are not getting any feedback as well. वो हमें बताता नहीं कि अरे तू यहाँ पे गलत गया, वहां पे सही गया. Those things are never talked about. Okay. So when if you are unaware that exactly what are your areas of improvements, what are your good points, then you won't be able to work on yourself, right? There should be someone who should always pinpoint your mistakes, and once your mistakes you are aware of, you would be able to rectify this. Okay, that is basically the main objective of giving interviews. And another area that is very important area I will talk about in a little bit more. If anyone has got any question, please feel free to ask. Does that answer your question, Jyoti? Okay. So there are a few questions. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, Deep. Hi. Sorry to interrupt. Am I audible?
Yes, Rahul, you are.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to ask that since there are so many people over here who are switching their jobs from non-IT to IT. Okay. So in that case, many of the people are having question in their mind that those people are not getting success while are not able to crack the interview just because they don't belong to this background, and they are new to this one, and they are not able to fulfill the requirement or not able to understand the concepts. Sometimes the job description, the interview is trying to conduct into that way. So somewhere they feel like I just wanted to enter into this field anyhow. So is there any kind of a beginner level programs, or like the GDPs we do have, graduate development program or beginner development program, wherein they take freshers or kind of a thing into their organization, they train for some time while doing the job? Is this kind of things are going on in some background of IT?
Right, that's a good question asked, Rahul. So to answer to that question, unfortunately, this domain that we are targeting, which is business intelligence, there are not many number of openings for freshers. Okay, there are openings. I won't say that there are not, but not many. So the opportunities might be in a month, you might get one or two, and sometimes, in fact, not even that as well. Okay, and if you are a fresher, means they will be considering you a fresher only if you are a pass out on that year, or might be if you are 2021 pass out, you still might be considered as a fresher. But the training that you are expecting, they won't be providing you training at this phase. They will provide training for college pass out when they are in hiring from the college, the placements, or in the off campus they have hired people. At that time, they would be giving that training so that they can work. Otherwise, that gradual development program does not hold true in the field of business intelligence for people like us who's switching from non-IT to IT. Okay. So for that reason, it is very important that you need to know the basics. Your basics should be very strong. Okay, so when you are speaking, you should be speaking confidently like a Tableau developer or a Power BI developer. You have to work on projects. I will come on to the project side as well, because that is one of the most weak area that I can observe in my day-to-day interviews that I'm conducting. And people are not taking that thing seriously. I don't know why. They are thinking that just on the basis of some written things, they would be able to crack a job. But when in terms of explanation, they are unable to explain. So I'll talk about the project thing elaborately. Let me see in the chats. There are many questions that are flowing in. Let me address one by one. So Sumit has written, I'm not getting any calls from LinkedIn, but getting calls from Naukri. So it's good. You're getting calls. If you're getting calls from Naukri, it's fine. So sometimes what happens is the recruiters constantly change. They will check the Naukri profile. If the Naukri profile is already present on LinkedIn, they have already contacted you. So they don't need to contact you once again. But if you're getting calls, it's fine. Okay. Now there is a little bit of saturation that is going on. For that reason, the calls are not on the higher side. But for you, it is more important for you is to ensure that the first opportunity you get, you should need to think that as your last opportunity and prepare in such a way that you crack the interview at one go. But if you're getting calls, it's great. So are you able to crack interview, Sumit? Were you able to crack first round, or how was your journey so far? Okay. So whenever interviewer comes to know that we have worked in Tableau in our company, they expect us to know how the connection to database is established and how we publish the dashboard and how the manage performance while handling big data. But I'm practicing and learning on my own. I'm unable to answer since I don't have the real experience. That's a great question asked. And in fact, this is what I was going to talk about, that so as I mentioned that there are no opportunities for fresher. Okay, so you have to show your profile as a Tableau developer or a Power BI developer. So the first thing, always understands the interviewer's perspective. They are going to hire you. They are going to pay you so much amount. Why they are going to pay that amount to you? They are going to pay that amount because you are going to do work for them, right? And that Tableau job is not an easy job. Okay, you have to handle a lot of data. So herein comes the experience. If you are inexperienced, you won't be able to handle so much amount of data. And the reports that we create is actually very, very important for the business, because whatever analysis that you are doing, whatever charts that you are preparing, the end user or the clients, and not only the clients, but the senior level of the clients would be checking those charts and whatever analysis that you have done. And based on that, they would be able to know that how's the performance of the organization going on. And if you're unable to present the data in the right way, it's a very negative impact for your organization, because that organization has hired you and the client is paying huge amount for you. Though you are given peanuts, but the organization is actually charging a lot of money. Okay, so for that reason, the ask of the industry is very high. So as you mentioned that you have not worked on projects, a real-time project is very, very, very important. If you are not working on projects, you won't be able to answer these questions. Because when you will be working on projects, you will have an exposure that how Tableau developers actually work in the industry. What are the basic steps that are required by a Tableau developer to get a report optimized, the performance optimized, and how to connect to a huge data set. Okay, you do not need a huge data set for your knowledge, but you need to know the basics, that these are the areas that I need to speak during the time of interview. And if I speak, then the interviewer would be able to relate to your answer, and they will think that you are a Tableau developer. You just need to make make the interviewer believe that you are a Tableau developer. Okay. So we need to definitely work on projects. At DownTownCoders, we actually work on multiple projects. There are two types of projects right now functioning in the industry. One is a prototype based and another is an analytics based. I'll talk about that as well. But yes, I
So
hope I
Deep,
was
you
able to.
will give
Mhm.
us this live. You will give us this live project to work on. When is
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. You will be working on 3 projects with us. Okay.
Okay.
Finance, insurance, and e-commerce. These are the domains that we'll be working. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So, Jyoti, that is the most important thing. You need to know how the connections are required to be made, whether it's a live connection or extract connection. What are the challenges that you face when you make a connection? So if you do not know these intricate details, you won't be able to say. And these things will only come if you work on projects, you will have a real-time experience at that time. Okay. You cannot manage this on your own because this content is not available anywhere. Okay, on YouTube or on any other social media platforms, because it is difficult to explain for anyone as well. It's if you work only, then you will get this kind of challenges. Okay, Shailesh has told how to get entry-level job in the field, because in LinkedIn and Naukri company will require 3 to 4 years. So as I mentioned, entry-level jobs are not available. Okay, if you are very lucky, only then you will be getting entry-level jobs for freshers. Otherwise, there are no opportunities for entry-level jobs. You will have to show a little bit of experience in this domain. Okay, and if you're showing experience, with experience comes experience. That means you have to confidently speak like a Tableau or a Power BI developer. Internship programs are also very, very difficult to find. In my organization, we had been doing internship many years back. Now it has been totally stopped. Why? Because people have got themselves trained from any institute and we are getting a ready-made material. So why will I invest more money to train someone? That's the reason fresh level jobs are unavailable at this moment. Sumit also said, gave Deloitte interview, first round cleared, passed assessment, Excel test, great. This week gave second round, awaiting result. So all the best to you, Sumit. I hope, since you have cleared the first round, I hope you had a great journey so far with Deloitte. And we are also keeping our fingers crossed. If you can clear Deloitte, it's a great organization to work with. How to learn good SQL quickly and handle SQL questions effectively in the interview. Interesting question. How to learn something quickly depends upon you as well, that how quick learner you are. Okay, but as I mentioned, to know the absolute basics of SQL, you can start online from w3schools.com. In W3 Schools, you will get at least some basic idea of SQL, and then over the period of time, you have to increase your learning. Okay, so there are a lot of content that might be present on social media platforms, but the main problem of learning on your own is that you have to invest a lot of time gathering the information in bits and pieces from everywhere. Okay, there is not a single channel who has actually given every information that is required to crack a job. Okay, something or the other is definitely missing. So that's the reason learning on your own can become tedious and quite time consuming as well, but it can be done without any problem. But you need to understand queries, subqueries. They will be asking you a lot of questions on joins, the concepts of joins, primary key, foreign key, index, little bit of performance optimization in SQL is also very important. Performance optimization, as in query optimization in SQL, is very important. A lot of function questions will be asked. So date function is very important, both in SQL as well as in Tableau and also in Power BI. So all those details you need to start very well. Will the Naukri profile be created by you for us? Yes. Smita, okay, Smita, I think you are getting trained under by us. So yes, so we will be creating your Naukri profile. So our curriculum basically have the curriculum you have already going through. After that, you will face the project, which is very important. We'll work on 3 real-time projects. Then you will face 3 mock interviews with us. Your resume will be created by us. Your Naukri profile, we will be creating. If you can create, we will definitely check it. And we have a placement commitment, as we mentioned. So yes, that things will be taken care by us. So don't worry. At DTC, how can we? Okay, yes, any question?
Sir, do I really need to change my LinkedIn profile if I already I have worked in a different field and I have to I am looking for transition in Tableau as a 3-year experience. So do I really need to change that profile from that field to Tableau?
Right, good question. So the thing is that when you are looking for opportunity, it should not be a one direction. Okay, it should be for multiple directions. So from LinkedIn also, we receive a lot of calls. So if you change, so that calls will also start flowing in. So for you, the most important thing is to get calls from anywhere and everywhere possible. Through us, if you're getting, it's great. Through your connections, through your friends, if you're getting, it's great. From LinkedIn, if you're getting, it's great. But if your LinkedIn profile is different, then the recruiters won't be able to relate to your profile, right? They won't be approaching you at that time. So it is good to change your LinkedIn profile. Okay, I will recommend to change it. Yes.
But you have like it's been like a long time, like 3 or 4 years back I have created and I have that profile. So suddenly if I change, that will affect things or
that
something?
won't affect. Means I've never seen things gets affected due to this. Okay, so you don't worry. So these are something, will you be able to control that? You won't, right? Some things we can control, some things we can't. So if you make the changes, what control you're doing, that some new recruiters will be checking your profile and will be going through the details. That's great. Okay. Why the things which you won't be able to control, that someone is thinking, अच्छे कंचन ने तो ऐसे अचानक बीच में change कर दिया, क्या होगा? दया, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. So it doesn't work like that. Okay. So don't worry. Change your LinkedIn profile. It won't create any problem in your job hunt.
And as I asked you that question before, but still I am asking that. Already in my documents, there are different profile. It's mentioned, and in resume I have to mention the Tableau developer, because I'm looking for a 3-year experienced Tableau developer. So that would be okay, right?
Absolutely. See, without experience, we won't be able to receive our first calls.
Yeah.
Right. So we will have to take our profile in that way. So the roadmap that we actually create, so I've already talked about the roadmap. For
Yes.
different people, the roadmap is different. So I'm not talking what roadmap we have created for you, but we are going to follow that roadmap, and it will actually land up in a lot of calls. So
And
don't worry.
yeah, and if you have difficulties in, like, I have that YTD QTD, that part, so in that part I'm getting little challenging. So do I really add or mention in resume, or
We will. When if it is challenging, let us know. Okay. If it is challenging, we will explain you in multiple different ways. In fact, in the project that will work, there is a work on YTD, QTD that you will have to do.
yeah?
Okay. So you will
I
learn at that time.
Yeah, I understood completely, but when it comes to different case studies or different scenarios, so that time I'm getting a little like stuck. So
So even if you don't mention in your resume, that question will be asked, because that is one of the most important question. Because everything will be YTD, QTD when you will be working in real time project. Okay. So at that time, then how will you function? So the areas which you think is still a weak area, please work on it. Let us know. We will explain you, and we'll ensure that that becomes your strong point. Okay. So you figure out your weak areas and make it a strong point through us. That is the reason we are there. Okay. And you are already aware the quality that we are providing, right?
yes, sir.
So
Deep, there is one question from my side as well.
yes.
So this course or curriculum, what you're providing, what is the roadmap of it and duration of it? Can you give a small gist of it?
Okay. So as I mentioned, the roadmap that it's a 3.5 months of course, okay, wherein we are going to cover SQL, data warehouse, and Tableau. Also Power BI, but Power BI is a different batch. But yes, SQL, data warehouse, and Tableau end to end from extreme basics, like from ABCD till advanced level. Okay. And once the curriculum is done, you will work on 3 projects with us. We will train you on Agile, because that is very important. Without Agile, you won't be able to crack any job, because the second interview, people ask how the project flow happens, how many Tableau developers are there, how the dependency is there with the ETL team. All those concepts are very important. How you raise your blockers during the Scrum calls, what type of discussions you have during the retrospective session. All those important questions are required to be understood. So we will train you on Agile at first, and then we will be implementing Agile in the project. So the module that we have developed, it is like real Tableau developers. You will feel like Tableau developers working in the industry. There are a lot of collaboration that will be happening between all the other Tableau developers, and you will be working on that. Once the project is done, you will face 3 mock interviews with us. Your resume, Naukri profile will be created, and we have a commitment that till the time you are placed, it will be our responsibility. So it's not 1, 2, or 3, 4 opportunities. It's till the time you have your first offer letter in hand, you will be our responsibility. And we'll also help you to take your counter offers and reach to the maximum package. Okay. So that's our entire roadmap and journey. Explain briefly, but yes, that is how we work.
Its duration is 3.5
3.5
months, right?
months. 3.5 months. Yes.
And the timing, it will be daily for how much, how many
It's
hours?
a weekend batch. Saturdays and Sundays we function. Okay. And on the remaining 5 days, there will be a lot of assignments that will be given. You have to go through the assignments, interact with each other, communication sessions. Yeah, there are many other things that happens on the weekdays.
But that just wanted to ask, that would be manageable, right? I mean, I'm sure many of us who are working, and they might be 8 to 9 hours, 10 hours working will be there. So with that respect, the weekdays, that will be manageable assignments, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Everything is manageable. So we figure out times in such a way that it is possible for everyone to join. But the training would be happening on the weekends. During projects, it is a daily. It's Monday to Friday, 1 hour every day. So during project training, it becomes Monday to Friday instead of weekends. Okay, because if you do not work every day, I won't be able to understand that what's the input that you have, where you are stuck, what are your blockers. So all those things gets discussed.
Okay.
Okay, Jyoti Ranjan has also asked how can we job ready covering all the concepts, topic, situation in 1 month? Is it self-placed or mentored? How is it designed to give us real job experience? Can you explain a little bit more? So yes, project is a very important part. So I believe, Jyoti, you're asking about the project. Project module is of 1 month. However, the entire module is of end-to-end training is of 3.5 months. So in project module, I will be assuming that you have already learned Tableau from somewhere nicely. Okay, and you are just implementing those concepts. So it is self-placed as well as mentored. So you will be working on the project, but I am there to help you at any point of time you will get stuck. Okay. And I'm going to show you a lot of intricate details of the project that you need to explain during the time of interview. So it's like a real job experience that you will be getting, because our students do not require any job assistance once you get placed. Okay. So job assistance is something which I am very, very against. So you need to do by yourself. Okay. So that is how you will be functioning. And every concepts will be covered. Not all concepts, because it's a project module. Whatever important concepts that are required, like Tableau developers have to face on a day-to-day basis, that will be covered in that. Okay. Hope I am able to answer your questions. Do you also provide assistance with experience? No, we don't. Okay. So that is something we do not provide. We do not encourage as well to take any kind of fake experience. But if you need any assistance, means what are the things that are required, I might help you in discussing few things, but we do not provide that. If you miss any class, do we provide recorded videos? All live sessions gets recorded like the way it is getting recorded like right now. We will be providing that as well. Okay, I think Amol sir has already told. So when new batch starts, it will take some time, okay, for the new Tableau batch to get started, because all our batches are full. But we are going to start with a Tableau project batch real soon. If you are connected in the Tableau community, you will be getting informations over there. If you have my number, then I generally post it on my WhatsApp status. You can check over there as well. Is there any video or course where I can learn Agile or Tableau developer, sir? Yes, I have created a session on Agile methodology inside out. So yes, it is available. Okay. So how Agile functions in report development lifecycle, that is my 9.5 years of experience that I've shared in a session. Okay. Very extensive session that I've taken that has helped most of you. I think many people have gone through that session as well, taken from me. So yes, it's a very important session. Anyone who has checked the session who would like to talk about that session, were you able to understand that? Anyone?
Yes, Deep.
Did you like the session?
Yeah, it was quite detailed and helpful and self-explanatory. I mean, after that, I don't think anybody should have more questions.
Awesome, that's great. No, Sumit, it's not on our channel. It's a paid session. You can contact me. I can provide you that link later. Okay, any other questions? I think I have addressed to most of the questions. Awesome. Okay, now let's talk about the most important thing that I am facing as a recruiter. Okay, I have learned Tableau, but to join your Tableau project batch, how much you expect us to know? So expectation is that you are aware of what are relationships, what are joins, what are blending. You are aware of LOD, but you never have implemented LOD. I will train you on that. But you need to know what is LOD, what is context filter. So these definitions you need to know. Okay. And rest implementation, I will make you know. Okay. So those things are necessary. Date function, you need to know. Parameters and filters, you need to know. Because I cannot explain you what is a parameter over there. I will ask you to create a parameter. If you are unable to create, then that's a question mark for me. That at least the basic part you need to know. We will work very advanced things on our Tableau project module that we have.
Do we need to contact you separately so that we'll start with project, or after the
No, no, no,
Tableau?
no, no.
Acha.
It's like for following. Amol sir is there to coordinate with you, so don't worry.
Okay.
So in our batch, it will be a smooth flow, like the way it is happening right now. Okay. You do not have to contact me separately. In our batches, it will be end to end. So when Tableau will be over, we will start with the project. Like today, SQL got over, so we will be completing Tableau and then we will move. Awesome. Right. So coming to the point that I was telling, that as recruiter, what I am facing? Okay, you guys are facing so many things that you are not getting selected. I am unable to select anyone. So why this is happening? You want to get selected and I am unable to select. Why there is a gap? So generally I take 5 to 6 interviews in a day-to-day basis for my organization. Sometimes all 6 interviews, people are rejected. Many a times, means not sometimes, most of the times I have to reject everyone. Sometimes I'll be selecting only 1 or 2. Okay, that depends upon the performance. Why there is so much gap? You guys are doing so much hard work. You have that expectation to crack an interview. Then why there is no selection that is going on? Are there not many opportunities? Definitely there are a lot of opportunities. But what is the reason that you are not getting selected? First thing, your introduction. And it breaks my heart when I see that people are unable to introduce yourself. Okay. If you do not know yourself, then I won't like to know you as well. Okay. So your introduction should definitely start with your name, or in fact, it should start with a phrase, which if you follow my YouTube channel, you will see that I always ask my students to say that, thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. Why this phrase is required? Because you need to show your gratitude towards the interviewer, because out of hundreds and thousands of resumes might be you have been given that opportunity to come and face the interview. So it should always start like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is this. I completed my graduation. That should be your last education that you have taken. So I completed my graduation from this university in the year this. After that, I was fortunate enough to start my career with this organization. Then you need to come to your roles and to your career. That means the designation and the time span you have spent for that organization. And then it should be straight to the point, your skill sets. So you should talk about your skill sets at first, before your roles and responsibilities. That my primary skill set is Tableau, and my secondary skill sets are SQL and data warehouse, or any other skill set you might have. Then you need to talk about that. And then you need to come to your roles and responsibilities, which is very important. You need to say that what type of projects you have worked. So the domain of the project is very important. So it can be a healthcare domain, it can be a finance domain, it can be an automobiles domain. Talk about that domain. And when you're coming for Tableau interview, so not yesterday, I think Friday, I took one interview wherein the girl's entire profile was on Tableau, but she was talking her non-IT experience more, because she was feeling confident to talk about that, because she has worked on that. That was much relatable to me. Okay, I was looking for someone who is good with Tableau or expressing the profile in Tableau more than the non-IT experience. So the non-IT experience needs to subside. Okay, more of Tableau experience should be talked about. So you need to say that as Tableau developers, what were your roles and responsibilities, what type of projects you have handled. And then you need to drive your interview. There are 2 ways an interview can be driven. It can either be driven by you or by the interviewer. If the interviewer drives the interview, then you are in a bad position. They will take left, right, and center. But if you are driving the interview, how you can drive your interview? You will always see that the questions will be based on the answers that you're giving. The counter questions will always be based on the answers that you're giving, okay, or the answers that you're sharing. So what you need to do, you need to set an agenda in the introduction itself. You need to talk a little bit about the agile terminologies. You need to say that in my current organization, we had been following agile as our project management flow. We had our sprint planning session, our scrum calls. We used to highlight our blockers as well. At the end of the sprint, we had a sprint review and retrospective session. So what you did, you talked about all the terminology of agile in your introduction. but you do not have to explain every details. Now the recruiter will know that, okay, you have talked about it, let's ask question. Let's see that whether he or she knows those things. Now they will be shooting a lot of questions, and then you are driving your interview because you want that person to ask question based on the point that you have given. Now the ball is in your court. You can hit it for a 6, or you might get bowled as well. Okay. So this is how the introduction should be very, very strong and perfect. Practice your introduction. If you're not practicing your introduction, then it's of no use. Okay. So this is the first thing. People are unable to introduce yourself. And whenever I see that the people is not able to introduce themselves properly, I always see that person is struggling in the Tableau practical questions or SQL questions, because they have not done their homework correctly, or they might have not received the right guidance to crack an interview. Okay. So that is the reason of that is the reason for rejection. Second, explanation of project. People write so many things in their resume, but when I ask, okay, so tell me that how this project used to come to you, people say on emails. An organization, it is really difficult to maintain everything on email. Okay, it will be through a project management tool. It can either be Jira or any other tool. That is very important. Okay, so you need to talk about that, how the project flow happens. That you can only say those things if you have really worked on a project. So that is another area that is very evident. When I speak for 2 minutes, I come to know that that person has actually not worked on a project. That is the main reason there is such a huge gap. Okay, and if the interviewer understands that you're bluffing, you're rejected. People take proxy, people take job support. We do not want that. Okay, and that happens quite often. So that should not be done. That should be stopped immediately. So yes, explanation of project is very important. If you are unable to explain your project, then why should I select you? I'm going to pay you so much amount. And if I'm paying you, suppose say 15 lakhs, 16 lakhs, or 20 lakhs, then I want that quality from you as well, because the job responsibility is very high. Nowadays, the number of developers in a project is reducing. Okay, earlier there used to be 4 developers or 5 developers. Now there is a shrinkage of developers. They need, people are trying to organizations are trying to do cost cutting. So 4 developers job is required to be completed by 3. In some of the projects, you will be a completely individual contributor. And if you are an individual contributor, then all the responsibility on the server side as well as on the Tableau development side will be on you. So you need to prepare yourself in that way. Okay. So project is something that you need to definitely practice and go, because if you are not able to say confidently, you are not selected. Okay. Might be in one interview, you might get selected for the first round. In the second round, you won't be getting selected. Okay. The fourth thing that I have seen quite often, that practical questions. Whenever I ask someone to share the screen and solve something, the face goes blank. There is a panic in the face that what should I say now? What would be the questions that will be asked to me? So there should not be change in your facial expression, even if it's an uncomfortable situation for you, because you should face every question with a lot of confidence. The more confidence that you show during interviews, it will be easier for the recruiter. I will feel that you are still confident. Even if you say a wrong answer confidently, sometimes you are selected. Okay. So there should not be a drop of confidence, even if you are not comfortably giving that interview. Okay. That is very important. So practical questions, solve as many practical questions as possible, because that is one of the most important ask of the industry. We do a lot of case studies and stuffs, which becomes easier for our students to handle those questions. But in real life, if you are just practicing by your own, or you might have learned from here and there, then you need to be very confident with those practical questions. Okay, we take a lot of mock interviews to ensure that you learn the things correctly, talk in the right way. So you need to just practice on that, because no one can guarantee you that this question will only get asked. No, but similar type of concepts will definitely get asked. So the more number of questions you practice, On Google, you will get a lot of practical questions. There are a lot of practical questions on social media. You can take those questions and you can learn. Okay, that will be good. So these are the major challenges that I see. And another challenge is SQL. I don't know why. SQL is an easy language. Okay, it is not tough. But people tend to think that, acha baba, usme coding hai. And whenever this thing stuck in your brain that usme coding hai, I have seen that people tend to avoid that portion. SQL is basic English language. The codes are like select star from this and that, right? So that is one of the most important area as well that you need to work, because if I ask you to write queries, you need to know how to write queries. Okay, you just can't write anything on the screen and you will think that the recruiter would be able to believe to you. Okay, so practice writing queries, very important. Okay, and if you're unable to make logic, it's fine, but explain that logic, that I'm not able to make the logic now, but I think my approach will be this. This is how you need to speak. Because if you speak in that way, then I as a recruiter will understand, acha, okay, good. He or she is unable to do it, but he or she has told me the right way that this will be his or her approach. I can confidently take this person in my project, because if any problem statement comes to him or her, he would have the correct approach. And since there are a lot of other developers, he or she can easily coordinate with others and get these things sorted. Okay, that is another thing. And these are some of the major problems due to which the rejections are happening. So you need to know the right approach. If I ask what type of project it was, okay, people get confused. If I ask, is it a prototype project or an analytics project? People sit with a blank face. What is a prototype project? So you need to know, guys, that what type of project it was. Was it a dashboard that was shared to you by the client, which you are recreating in Tableau? Or is it something you are analyzing the data and you are creating your report? So there are two types of projects: prototype-based project and analytics project. What is the difference between the two? You need to know. Okay. You need to know what's your roles and responsibilities on the server. People have learned Tableau, did desktop certification. Then it is written desktop certified. But when I ask, you used to publish your report, right? What were your role in the server side? I can't recall. How can't you recall? You are showing 3 years of experience. It is not something that you need to recall. It is something which is there in your blood. You need to know your role, that whether you are a site admin, server admin, interactor can publish, whatever roles it were. You need to talk about those things. Okay. Then if I ask you that, what challenge did you face as a Tableau developer on the performance side? When performance optimization comes into picture, people struggle a lot. And as Tableau developers, this is the most important area, because we deal with a lot of data. And since Tableau, when it gets connected to a lot of data, performance is an issue. So you will have to get that rectified. Otherwise, what will happen? The end user will always send escalation emails that it is taking 30 seconds, 40 seconds. What is happening? When you go to social media platform, if your YouTube buffers for even for 10 seconds, you will close that YouTube and move on to the next video, right? But if your report is taking 30 seconds, understand the pain that the end user might have to go through. Okay, so you need to know. So all these things will be much more meaningful when you have worked on projects. Okay, without that, it becomes difficult, because Tableau is a tool which you tend to forget very fast. So you need to keep on revising your old concepts as well. Whenever you are studying, you need to constantly revise your own concepts. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to crack a job. Okay. Right. So these are basically the key areas or the key points that I find when I go for selecting people. I'm unable to find the right candidate, and that is the main reason of rejection. Okay. So if you guys can relate to the stuff that I have talked about right now, and if you are already aware that these are the areas that you are lagging, please work on that areas. Okay. Give mock interviews, might be with your trainer, with your mentor, with your friends, with your colleagues, or with me. Give mock interviews, face your fear. Till the time you face your fear, you won't be able to overcome those things. Okay. You do not have to be absolutely perfect in Tableau, but you need to be very, very confident when you are explaining your profile during interview. That is the main idea of clearing an interview. Okay, that is how you can switch your non-IT career into an IT career, because you have to make the person sitting in front of you understand. People talk a lot. Do a data analytics course, do data science course, you will be easily placed. But the journey is real difficult. Okay. And these are the challenges that you face in the journey that no one will talk about. They will only talk about do course, do this and do that. But the real challenges you face is when you start giving interviews. Right. Any question? When your next batch starts for real-time projects? We'll be starting very soon from the 8th of May for Tableau projects. If you are, please save my WhatsApp number. Okay. Then you would be able to see my WhatsApp status. So I'll put my number 1 minute. This is my WhatsApp number. You can definitely note down this number. My name is Deep. Okay. So you can contact me anytime. If you have got any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay. That is very important. Okay. Any other question, guys? Were you guys able to relate to what I was saying? Means as a recruiter, these are my challenges.
Hi, Deep. I have a question.
Yes, Robina.
So is there a possibility that interviewer doesn't know about the agile terminologies? So for example, even if we are working in agile methodology, so some people doesn't know the exact terminologies, right?
Correct.
So in that case, how can we use this knowledge to show them that we are well known about the entire process?
Okay. So let me answer this question in this way. Something which I am not good at, I will tend to avoid it. So even if you say those terminologies during your introduction, like the way we told you, if I'm not able to relate to it now, I will not get deep dive into that. What I'll do, I'll say, okay, understood. Now, can you answer this? I will not ask that question at all. Okay. So if someone is not, suppose you are throwing something and that person is not catching and resonating in the same way, like the way you want it. So you always know that that person is unaware of that.
Yes.
Many people as Tableau developers are unaware of how Agile functions in report development lifecycle. So, but for the second round, it's the techno manager actually comes. He or she will definitely would be able to relate to the stuffs. So in the first round, they might not ask questions based on this, but in the second round, they will definitely ask. Okay.
Okay.
1 year, last working day, April 2022. So 1 year non-IT, TABLEAU, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, please forgive me.
Hey, hi Deep. Yeah,
Yes.
actually, it is. I have been into IT, but as my mother was not well and being a single child, I had to move out for some time. Now she has improved a lot, so now I started looking for an opportunity. I've been looking out since January, but I have given a couple of interviews, but I have got rejections. So mostly I've been struggling with the SQL part.
Okay, so let's talk a bit honestly. How many live interviews you have faced?
Since January, I have faced around 5 to 6 interviews, to be very true.
5 to 6 interviews, a lot of calls. Okay, so 5 to 6 interviews you never unable to crack. So it was only on SQL due to which it was getting rejected, or did you figure out yourself that some other areas of improvements are also needed?
So only area of improvement which I have figured out is SQL. So whenever they are giving, I mean nowadays, so I would like to give a brief about about my profile. So it has been around 6+ years I've been working into IT, and in Tableau I have worked for around 3 years. So, but 3 years I did not work as a dedicated resource for Tableau. So I was into data validation team. Being a part of that, working with the data analyst and other related team, I have learned Tableau So later on, I wanted to make a dedicated career into Tableau, being a Tableau developer. So I have learned Tableau on my own through the Tableau website and all the resources which are present on Tableau e-learning. I got the key and I started learning through Tableau learning only. So, later on, I did not get a proper opportunity as a Tableau developer. But meantime, I kept on upskilling. So I have fair knowledge about Tableau. But when it comes to SQL, dedicatedly they are asking about some sort of Windows function, analytical function, and they are giving some scenarios because the interview is happening in 50% kind of thing now. 50% they are asking about SQL part and 50% Tableau. So most of the time I'm getting feedback like the guy is good in Tableau, but he's struggling in SQL. So this is the area that I've been putting effort into, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm not able to crack the interviews, what is happening, but still I'm trying. So I got.
See, in SQL, knowledge on stored procedures, triggers used, as I mentioned, is very much important. Also, Windows functions are nowadays getting asked. Okay, so these areas you need to work, not only understand the concept, but writing queries is also very important. So take problem statements and try to solve those problem statements. Otherwise, you won't be able to crack. Okay, because as you mentioned, it's 50-50. That's very rightly said that 50-50 portions will now be asked on Tableau and SQL. If you're doing Power BI, 50% Power BI, 50%. In Power BI also, there are segregations like Power Query, DAX. So I'll not talk about Power BI today. So yes, 50% of SQL is very important because why? You do not have to do data modeling, but you might have to analyze the data. And to analyze the data, because in real-time scenario, what happens? There are around 50 tables, or in fact, even more. You have to check the data with multiple tables. So the concepts of joins, unions comes into picture a lot. Okay, so you need to know about that. Case functions is very important. You need to know about that. So various important functions are there. If I have to talk, there will be a list of functions that we actually train you guys on. So yes, just you need to put in extra efforts to know the technicalities, and not only knowing, implementing the technicalities. Means you need to able to write codes, and also you need to be smart, because when a question is asked, you need to quickly relate to how you can join the dots. If you can join the dots correctly and give a correct approach, just gain that confidence from the recruiter that he was able to understand you. Okay, sometimes you are giving the correct answer, but there are lots of fillers that you're using, like this. If you're talking, then it's once again, even if you give a correct answer, you might not get selected. So that is something you need to work on. Okay. Okay, so there is a question from Amol. Next possible end-to-end batch. So the date, I think, will be difficult for us to tell, but it will be around 1.5 months' time to start a new batch. On Tableau end-to-end, the project batch will start from the 8th of May. Yes, 8th of May, correct. From Monday, it will start. Right. Any other question, guys? What version of Tableau we should tell an interviewer? Very, very good question. Okay, so there are 2 versions of Tableau. Means you can tell n number of versions, but definitely one version before 2020 and one version after 2020. That is a definite thing, because the concepts of relationships came after 2020 version. So the Tableau interviewer should understand how many, means you have got diversified experience, that without relationships also you used to handle the data. So that is very, very good question asked. Another question that comes in my mind, that there is a very common question gets asked, that how many dashboards you have prepared. I also tend to ask this question a lot. And every time I ask this question, 99% times I get wrong answer. They will say 10, 12. And then I see the years of experience. Then I see that it's 3 years, 4 years. So in 3 years or 4 years, will you prepare only 10 to 12 dashboards? No. In one workbook itself, there are 8 dashboards for one particular project. In fact, for one particular sprint. Okay, so you can understand how many dashboards you might have created. So the relatable answer should be, suppose if you're showing 3 years of experience, then it should be minimum 50 to 60 dashboards minimum. I have worked more than 220 dashboards. Wow. But yeah, minimum 50 to 60 dashboards you need to say, because in one workbook itself, there are 4 to 5 dashboards. So you have to prepare so many workbooks. So do not say 10 to 12, always say 50 to 60. If you are showing 3 to 4 years of experience, reduce the number based on the confidence level you have. You are telling 50, but you are unable to say very basic things. Then once again, the recruiter would be understanding that you are bluffing. So you need to do smart work when you are shaping your offer. So that's the reason you need to face mock interviews, guys. People tend to avoid mock interview, tend to invest on mock interviews. I don't know why, but yes, you need to understand how you are talking to a third person's eyes. Means there should be someone who should be monitoring you, how you are performing, and should give you feedback. Only then you can you can talk confidently. You can work on your areas of improvement. Currently, 2023.1 is released. Okay, widely used. So most of the organizations are using 2021. Some of the organizations have updated and using 2022. 2023.1, I have not yet explored yet. I have to check what all new features has been added. Did not get much time, but yes. So as I mentioned, one version should be before 2020, another version should be after 2020. Any version you can say. 2021.4 is the most common version that most of the organizations are sticking to, because not many error comes in that version. But yes, 2022.1 upgrades are happening. So yeah, anything you can say, it's up to you. Any other questions? Interview asked this recently. Okay, so there are a few questions flowing in. Let's see. Kunal. Okay, Kunal has interview asked this recently during creating a how will you decide the chart or view I should use by watching the BRD or during creating visual. Okay, interviewer asked this recently during creating visualization. How will I decide that chart or view I should use after watching the BRD or any scenario? Okay, not able to relate to the question, but I think you are telling, you are asking that how you have created the chart or view. Did you check the BRD, business requirement document, or any scenario? Still not able to understand. Anyone who can, Kunal, can you unmute and tell me क्या बोलना चाह रहे हो उसमें meaning गलत हो गया थोड़ा. During creating visualization, how will I decide the chart or view I should use after watching the BRD?
Yeah, I am getting like too much noise outside my house. That's why I'm on
So
mute.
I understood your question.
Yeah,
See,
interview asked me like, how will you decide this after getting some scenario or some question? How will I decide what charts I should use in the visualization?
so
That's it.
every chart has got a meaning to it. Means if you have learned Tableau the right way, then you should know that when should I use a pie chart, when should I use a donut chart. That is very important. So the usage of chart and when it is required to be used, you need to know. When you need to use a horizontal bar, when you need to use a vertical bar. That is also very important. So all this type of things, when you are learning Tableau, these details are important. Okay. And if you're not aware of this, then I'll ask you to please Google and try to figure out, because every chart has got a meaning to it. Okay, you cannot create any chart just based on any requirement. Okay, so this is a very good question asked, and you need to be aware of this. Okay, are you going to share today's recorded session on your channel, missed beginning part? Yes, Pooja, I will share it on our YouTube channel as well. Right. Any other questions, guys? Okay, please explain about placement guarantee in your training program, how to help and guide us for this process. See, guarantee terminology is something which I do not relate to, because I cannot guarantee that whether I'm alive tomorrow or not. So what I commit is a placement commitment and assistance program for our end-to-end training. Okay, so our commitment is that till the time you have the offer letter in hand, we are there. We are not going to leave your hand unless you leave our hand. Okay, so for that we push a lot, we scold a lot, We will come to your class and we will push you a lot. But still, if you are not doing the things correctly, like the way it should be done, then no one can help you. Because I can send you for an interview. I can give an opportunity for you so that you can face the interview. In fact, a CEO of a company can't say that from tomorrow, come to work. He or she will say that from tomorrow, come and join, come and face the interview. Okay. And you will have to face the interview and crack it. And the ingredients that are required to crack an interview is what my expertise is what I'm going to provide. So you need to, if you follow the things like the way we will tell you, definitely the offer letter is in your hand. Okay. So we have got very many successful journeys. Many people who are there who's already getting trained. Many people from their batch have already got placed. So there are a lot of journeys, a lot of successful stories that we have. Touch wood, right now the success ratio is very high. So I see that there is no doubt for you guys to not get selected. Do not find excuses for yourself to not do. Okay. So always tell yourself that I can do and I will do. Give yourself a time that by this time I need a job. And follow the right means, you will definitely land in a job. You might face 2, 3, 4 rejections, but your 5th interview will be a selection. So build that confidence and definitely grow in that fashion. Okay. Because if you do not, suppose you enroll with DownTownCoders, but if you're not joining the classes on a regular basis, how will I guarantee that you will get placed? Okay. Because I don't know where you are standing. So if you follow the things from day one till the day end, the offer letter is in your hand for sure. Okay. Any other question? Can I join only end-to-end project of yours on Tableau? Yeah, absolutely. You can join. You do not have to be our student to join our project batch. Okay. Even if you have learned Tableau from outside, I'm absolutely okay with it. You can join our project batch without an issue. And we will provide you those kind of assistance that we provide for our end-to-end batch as well. But our end-to-end batch has got a deeper knowledge about that tool. Only the difference will be that they will know the tool inside out, and I can give you some subjective oriented knowledge. Means that will be essential to crack a job. Means you will definitely crack a job based on that knowledge as well. But I'm expecting a little bit of prior knowledge. Challenges faced by you while working. There are a lot of challenges that I face on a day-to-day basis. Okay, since I'm working in a little bit senior position than you, so I have a lot of client interaction. There are a lot of new requirements that flows in. Okay, I'm handling a Tableau as well as some other projects as well. So the challenges that comes, the most challenging thing is performance optimization, because right now I'm handling a data which is very high. If I say the numbers, then you will be shocked. It's 300 million data that I'm handling. And with 300 million data, if you have to optimize your performance within 10 seconds, it's a very, very painful task. So that is the reason you need to know how the containers are required to be created. I think Kunal would be able to relate to it. He's already going through the Tableau project module. So, or Rubina has also gone through this module. So these features are very, very, very important. So many things, many challenges I face. Then convincing the client that I won't be able to complete this task within this sprint. That is another challenge. Because if you cannot complete it within the sprint, there is an escalation, and clients will always be on their toes. Because it's an agile process. They will constantly interact with you. Okay. So that's the reason you have to keep your habits very clean from day one, update your notes properly on the Scrum board. They should be able to visit and check that you're following the things correctly. So all those technicalities are very important. Yeah, major challenge is performance optimization, and to get the correct data. Analysis projects, as I mentioned, is another challenge. Okay. Getting the informations correctly from so many tables and incorporating in a visualization is another challenge. But over the period of time, when you will get used to this kind of challenges. Okay. So the first challenge for you guys will be a little bit different from me. It's your survival. Okay. To survive in the industry, you need to have some good command on the tool. Okay. And Tableau tool is not easy. छोटा सा काम के लिए you have to do a lot of R&D and stuff. So yeah. What is the major issue you face while interacting with the client? I guess you wanted to write during the initial phase when you are understanding the requirement and dashboard to be prepared as expected by client. Yes. See, it is not a challenge if you're keeping your communications clean. Okay. So if you are ignoring stuff, if you know that there is some problem, but just you do not want to face that problem, you are ignoring it, that becomes a major problem. Might be not that sprint, might be some other sprint. Okay. So always keep your clients updated. Be truthful to the client. If you are unable to solve something during that sprint, tell the client you are unable to solve. If you are facing some knowledge gap due to which it is happening, inform it to your project manager. He or she will definitely find someone who would help you to understand the things. Not understanding the project, but the technicalities of things. Okay, that is very important. So all those things are important, and I face these kind of challenges. Okay, initially when I started, I used to struggle a lot, to be honest with you. Small things also I used to take hours to get it solved. Okay. In fact, now also sometimes a 2-minute job I take 4 hours to get completed because might be a different exposure was required. I was not able to cater to it. So this kind of challenge always comes up. Okay. Dashboard preparation is not a challenge for me. Optimization is also no more a challenge for me because as you can understand with 300 million data optimization, if I can do, then I can easily optimize things correctly. Okay. Right. So I think we are already 12 minutes over the time. Okay. Still, I'll keep this podium. How do you handle performance optimization? I think I will discuss this more in the project module. It will take many days to talk about this. So there are many things that is required to be done. Okay. Right. So as I was telling that I'm keeping this podium open. If you are facing any problem that you want to share that I might have not have discussed or might have overlooked, please let me know. It would have been amazing if everyone could have switched on the camera. Throughout the session, it was like speaking to a black screen. Only Amol sir had been there on screen, whom I could see. In Jira board, who will assign the task? Product owner or manager? Generally, the Scrum Master's responsibility or the team leader's responsibility is to assign the task. So yes, product owner will not assign the task to you. In fact, the technical team leader who would be leading the team from the forefront, it can be some of your colleagues as well who had been spent in the project since a long time, would be assigning the task to you based on the priorities and complexities. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. Okay. Fine. Having said that, I hope this session had been a little bit useful for you guys. You guys might be right now aware that exactly where you might be going wrong. Exactly, I won't say, because many things, till the time you are aware of your areas of improvements, it is difficult to actually improve on those areas. But I think you guys have an idea right now that what should be your approach while facing an interview and while communicating with the recruiter. Okay. Another question, in real-time custom SQL, oh, it's very important. Custom SQL queries is important in Tableau because you have to keep your database repository clean. Okay. And if your database repository is not very clean, then performance will be an issue. So yes, custom SQL is important. That's the reason you need to know SQL. That is why it is 50-50, 50% SQL, 50% Tableau. Any other question? Anyone who has faced more than 10 interviews and unable to crack? Be honest, it's fine. Mera bhi kabhi hua. No one? Wow, great. 5 interviews, not able to crack. 7+. Sumit, thank you for being honest. 5+, anyone? 5+ years of experience? Kunal, thank you. Thank you so much, Kunal. You're very welcome. Everyone is very shy, I guess. So many people have joined, but people are shy to interact. Then how will you interact with the client? Client will also ask that, are you married or do you have a girlfriend? What will you say? If you do not have, if you're not married, then won't you say that you have a girlfriend or boyfriend? Clients are very, very friendly. Okay, so you need to open up. As since we do not open up in our day-to-day life, sometimes it becomes challenging to address those type of questions as well. So it was asked to me very recently. For that reason, I am saying this, that yeah, this kind of things will definitely be last. But if you keep your relation with the client healthy and friendly, then you will see that in many places where you might be going wrong, they will help you. So yeah. Is it right, sir? Interview has now become tough to crack. What do you think? As against during Corona time? No, I'll tell you the reality. That's a good question. Interviews are definitely tough to crack now. Why? Because there are a lot of developers right now in the market. Good developers have also come in the market. That is the main reason. During Corona, TABLEAU was a very, very recent tool at that time. Means it is not a recent tool. It's been there since a very, very long time. But people were knowing about TABLEAU and Power BI at that time. That is the main reason the interviews used to happen like this. Do you know relationships? Hey, do you know joins? Okay. What is the difference between join and blend? Okay. What is filter? Okay. So only the definition-based interviews used to happen. Now the analytics project has come. Earlier, it was more into depth, means more into maintenance kind of a work. Already a dashboard is designed, you just need to maintain it. That's the reason many good developers are still not there. But good developers are coming now because they are working on analytics project. They are doing a lot of R&D and stuff, and they are progressing in their thought process. So that's the reason when we are going to hire, we need good people. And since all of you guys are bluffing, that's the reason you are unable to perform in front of the client. And the clients are sending this much big mails as escalation. And they're charging penalties from the organization. So the organization has given us, the recruiters, a strict notice that even if you see for 1% that candidate is bluffing, reject him. So that is the reason it is tough to crack interviews nowadays. So you need to be very good with these bits. Okay. So you only answered your own question. They are asking tough questions and scenario-based questions. So with experience comes experience. So you need to be well aware of multiple scenarios. These mock interviews, guys. Only then you will be able to crack your live interviews. Okay. Having said that, it was really a great time. It's been you guys have been great audience. Okay. A lot of questions got posted on the chat. Okay. And I'll conduct these webinars quite often with multiple topics. Today's topic was a generalized topic, but I'll conduct more centralized topic as well on the technicality stuffs and all. So it will be helpful for you guys also to understand few things. And thank you very much for joining in once again, and have a wonderful evening. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.